Alright, so what's good, y'all? We back with another one. Say So Gang. Alright, so today we are covering this viral kind of topic that's going on in the community, right? And this is based on trans community being able to have the right to use the restroom with males or females, whatever one that they identify with, based on the gender that they are transitioning to. So we got a couple videos here. I'm gonna just show y'all, and then I'm gonna get my natural reaction on what I believe is the right thing to do in this situation. Y'all do know I am bisexual, but I am a part of the LGBT community, so I just want to give my perspective on it, since I think a lot of guys are afraid to. But I do believe that my side of the story, or my perspective, is necessary. All right, so let's go.
Everybody, I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts. Everybody.
I've been attacked today and last night for fighting to protect women and girls. It's ridiculous. So if that being a feminist makes me an extremist, I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way. I've been attacked today.
Okay, so basically there's a big argument about if trans women or trans men, or I should say it like this, if it's okay for trans women to use the bathroom with biological born women, and if it's okay for trans men to use the bathroom with biologically born men, and also have like tampons and stuff like that in there, that because they do be having periods still, because do they still be having periods? I don't know. That's a good question. I gotta find that out. However, here's my take on it. I do agree with mostly of what old boy said in the middle, when he said that by genetics and by equipment, you do have the equipment while you're in that bathroom. And that to me is a hazard. That's a risk for a lot of issues. However, I do feel like we should be able to accommodate something to where we meet in the middle, because trans people do deserve a little bit more recognition. I have seen some of them on the like signs where it has like the guy with or it's like the figure, the stick person with the half skirt, and it's like the other half is not a skirt. And so I'm like, so is this a unisex bathroom or is this a trans bathroom? I don't know. I think that they need to have unisex bathrooms also. So like they need to have unisex bathrooms, male bathrooms, and then female bathrooms. Because I don't see why they can't do that. Now, some places who won't have the ability to have 3 bathrooms, I think that those places still should be able to have male bathroom and then female bathroom, and then trans people should decide if you want to go to the bathroom, whatever one you are comfortable going into. But this is the thing, I think y'all don't really need to have, for people to know that y'all are in the bathroom with us. Let me tell y'all why real quick. And I know a lot of people not looking at it this perspective, but trans people, hear me out. All LGBT, hear me out. When you have a trans man in the bathroom and there's tampons right there, and there's a dude at the sink, a biologically born man at the sink, and he sees you come out of the stall and reach for a fucking tampon, Do you know that there are not still predators that will prey on trans men just because they look like a dude? That don't mean that's gonna scare every dude away. Some dudes will just figure out like, this dude got a pussy? Oh, let me get that. Like, and they'll try to take advantage of you right there in the bathroom, and you be screaming, and who gonna hear you? You in the male's bathroom. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's safe. Okay? There is still predators and shit. Like, let's not forget. And then it's not just on the straight people's end or on the biological male's end. Think about on the trans man who's in the bathroom with women that is actually a pervert. Not like saying that they all are, because most of them aren't. But let's not act like there isn't any of us in the LGBT community that doesn't fit a stereotype, okay? There are criminal trans people. There are criminal bisexuals. There are criminal gays, straights. Everybody can be a criminal. So let's not act like just because you are a part of a demographic that's usually suppressed that you can't be the oppressor, all right? If there's a real biological woman in the bathroom and she's thinking that you're a real biological woman and you decide to take advantage of her because you are not really right up here, you still have a penis that you can operate and everything, that makes her vulnerable. That makes the biological woman vulnerable because you could literally be using your transness as a way to predatorize over women. Not all trans are even just straight up straight or gay. Some of them are bisexual. What if you're a bisexual trans? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So there's still risk. So that's why we're saying the majority of people are saying you are what your body parts are for a reason. Okay? That's what you got to be classified as when it comes to medically, when it comes to lawfully. That's why the procedures and y'all transitioning fully is important. I know that y'all like to argue that because y'all don't get the feeling that is bodily mutilation. But we don't agree with some of the bodily mutilation that y'all do to yourselves. As far as trans men especially, they get hysterectomies, I done found out, just to transition as a man. When they come from a woman to a man, they give them hysterectomies. Why? Just because you're a trans doesn't mean that you still don't want to reproduce. Why would you give up your ability to reproduce just because you don't want to acknowledge that you have that body part that allows you? That's how you're going to reproduce. That's the body part that you were born with that's going to allow you to reproduce your seed or your being into this world. Why would you go and get a hysterectomy and now you can't have a child at all? I feel like that's bodily mutilation. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's also funny how she just sat there and said, you know, as a feminist, if I don't want a man, and it's crazy how during this election, all of y'all were going for the feminists. All of the trans, all the gay people was going and rooting for the feminists. But now when they turn on you, now all of a sudden, it's something different. Nah. Y'all was right there with them. It was all about women-ness and empowerment and women bodily autonomy to get an abortion. Man, but y'all were going so hard for that. And now they don't even agree with y'all having y'all's rights. Like, this is all corrupt. That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that's what my opinion is. I think that there should be a unisex, a male one, and a female one. Trans people, I feel like y'all should stay undercover about y'all's transness. I don't think y'all should be in the bathrooms knowing that y'all are trans in the bathroom. I don't think that that's something that is going to benefit y'all like y'all think. I think that y'all have a huge problem. Y'all and women have a huge problem with people telling y'all what to do. Y'all want to be able to do whatever the fuck y'all want. And it's giving child. It's giving, you know, like a kid don't get to do what they want or get what they want. They throwing a fit. Don't none of us get to do exactly all we want to do, y'all. Like, that's like a man getting up there talking about, y'all vote for me. I'm a man like y'all. You know, all the men come and vote for me because, you know, we all relate on struggling, having to work and provide for families and, you know, being men. Nigga, men would have been like, nigga, get your bitch ass up out of here, cuz the fuck you talking about? Nigga, I ain't voting for you just because you a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta get y'all shit right, okay? It has to be logic, okay? Like, all this identity politics and all this, like, all this, you were oppressed, so now you're going far left, okay? And now you want to just do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't none of us get to do that. It's childish. It's given. Y'all didn't really want rights to have abortions. Y'all just didn't like the fact that people were saying that y'all shouldn't do it, that they don't want y'all to do it. Y'all feel like that was y'all trying to be controlled. Y'all feel like people trying to control y'all. And that's weak-minded, okay? There's 2-3 sides to every story, not just yours. You know what I'm saying? It's very disappointing to see how many people don't have the ability to give what they ask for, who don't have open minds, who are, you know, very selfish and closed-minded when it comes to their own stuff, but when it's to everybody else, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get with how humanity is going right now. Nobody is really, the majority, I should say, is really just messed up right now. All right. All right, y'all. So I just wanted to clear this up real quick because I was kind of making some blank statements in this video. So just to clarify what I meant by trans people and women feeling as if they are oppressed, I'm not saying that y'all have never been oppressed, okay? Don't get me twisted. I'm not discrediting what y'all have went through and y'all struggle and y'all's testimony. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of times people who are oppressed or come from a marginalized demographic who is usually in poverty, oppressed, whatever you want to call it, right? We don't have the ability to have discernment and empathy because we lose it based on only thinking about the fact that we're being oppressed, only thinking about the fact of what we have been taken from, what we haven't been allowed to do. So it prevents us from being able to see anyone else's perspective because you feel so victimized that you don't have the ability to see clearly. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. I feel like y'all's trauma, issues, whatever you want to call it, prevents y'all from being able to see things in a bigger picture, and you can only see it from your one narrow side of view. Okay, we are all one. Stop falling for identity politics that this government tries to force on us by separating us. Okay, it separates us by race, gender, sexuality, etc. And then they also go even further with the liberal and conservative thing. All right. When most people actually are in the middle, there's really rarely anybody who's far left or far right. All right. We are all one. Yes, there's a lot of sleep people. There's a lot of woke people. But telling people that voted for Trump, if you get shot by a police officer, if you get attacked by a police officer, we're not going to stand up for you, and that's what you get and all this other stuff, that is actually doing exactly what you say conservative people do, masculine people, men, whatever you want to call it, the oppressors. Y'all basically get oppressed so much, and then y'all do the same thing to somebody else. Y'all don't have the ability to be genuine and stand in your truth and give the same energy that you want in return. That's the main problem with the division between feminine people and masculine people. Feminine people like to opt out for feeling like a victim too much. All right, let's just be real here. Not saying that you're not a victim ever, because we are all victims at some point. However, because y'all listen to what everybody else is saying in social media rhetoric, y'all don't really have the ability to think for yourself. So y'all have a hive mind set where, you know, like bees have hive mindsets. They all think the same. All right. And basically y'all all just mimic what the next person is saying. And it's not genuine. There hasn't been any thought, any logic, any research put into it. You're just reiterating. You heard that this man was racist, and now you're just not going to vote for him. You're going against him because you heard that. Or you saw one clip where he looked suspect, and you just did not anymore give him a chance or the time of the day. That's how y'all operate, okay? That's what I mean by y'all fall into the agenda of division. We are all one, and when y'all go and allow people to make y'all feel like it's us versus them, or y'all versus them, or trans people versus straight people, or biological born people, black people versus white people, all this, when y'all do that, that is falling for the agenda. We need to understand that we are all one. I understand that, yes, there are people that you don't agree with that have different mindsets who you think uphold standards and ideologies that go against your rights and stuff. But if you open your mind and your ears and you hear people out and come to an understanding, then you can actually be able to see the truth of to what is really going on here and why everyone has a different mindset. All right. Y'all got to stop the hate. Y'all got to stop the negativity. That's why I said it seems as if it's a childish response to feeling like you're being controlled, feeling like you're being oppressed, feeling like, you know, like basically like how women felt in the 50s is what y'all, the energy y'all was giving this whole election. Like y'all didn't have never no rights. We ain't have no progression in this world. Y'all just been sitting up being housewives and had no rights to do nothing. Like that's the energy y'all was giving. Y'all have a hella rights. Y'all have things that men can't do. Y'all getting more money than a lot of men is right now. But men can't go into that whole connecting by feelings, trying to manipulate people with feelings because people don't have sentimental feelings towards men. If we don't get out here and get it, we ain't getting no sympathy. And that's why men didn't give y'all no sympathy this election, because it's time for y'all to experience what we have all this time. We don't get to go up and ask for support because we just so happen to have this body part in between our legs. All right. Y'all got to learn how to learn that you have worth outside of reproduction. You have worth outside of just being a woman or just being the identity that you are. And the way that y'all be going against people who don't agree with you, it's always an attack. Y'all never can just sit there and have a logical, intellectual conversation. Y'all get y'all's feelings involved. Y'all get upset. Y'all get traumatized. Y'all's trauma gets involved. Y'all get triggered. Y'all get upset. And people can't have no intellectual conversation with you because everything turns into a shouting match and an argument. And real men don't want to deal with that. Okay? If you don't have the ability to hear another person's perspective, if you don't agree with it, you're not emotionally mature enough to be having these conversations. All right. I am representing for all of us to become one, be open-minded, and hear each other's perspective regardless if we agree with it or not, and being able to stand in it as an adult, as a mature adult, instead of getting in our feelings, feeling attacked, feeling like we're being belittled because someone has a different ideology, okay? We got to cut this out. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to clear that up because I was making blatant statements in the video. But yeah, y'all, we got to come together, stop allowing this government and these higher powers to separate us because it's conquer and divide, and y'all keep falling for it. All right. So, trans people, anybody, when somebody says something that you don't agree with or has an ideology that you don't agree with, ask them why. Become inquisitive. Try to understand how they got to the mindset that they got to. Because, I'm going to be real with y'all. I was very disappointed to see the numbers that it was only us black people who really voted for Democrats this time. I'm not saying we're the only ones, but we're the only ones in mass who did. And instead of y'all having discernment and trying to understand why you ended up in the minority this time. And then y'all not questioning logically why were we the majority and y'all were the minority. You know what I'm saying? Instead, y'all want to look at everybody else like they crazy and y'all the ones that's right. And we all just sick. Y'all discredit and disrespect people just because they don't agree with you. Y'all wish bad on people because they don't agree with you, which makes people like me not agree with you ever again on purpose. All right, cool. You want to wish bad on me? You want to say because we don't think the same or because I don't have the same opinion as you, that now all of a sudden I can get gunned down in the street and I deserve it because I didn't want to vote for a certain person? That's evil. And like I said, that's that child shit. You know, oh, you didn't do what I wanted. Oh, you didn't let me win. Well, I hate you. And it's all pathetic. And it makes y'all look so weak and sorry. And don't nobody want to deal with that. I feel sorry for, like, I see what, like that. I could tell that most of them are single and everything, because if you can't agree to disagree, if you can't hear somebody else's perspective and you still be able to believe in yours and get along with them just because they don't think like you, taking it personal, taking it to heart, like somebody's really just like up here saying fuck you and all this other stuff. No, that's not what's going on. It's not personal. Quit taking everything to heart and personalizing it. That's how they got y'all. They identified with y'all in a personal way, manipulated y'all to think a certain way. And when anybody else goes against it, you automatically think that they're against you. No, that's not the case. Nobody's trying to keep y'all from having rights to your own body and do what you want with yourself. You act like somebody trying to tell you not to do something. And at the same time, y'all also need to be able to realize that y'all can be wrong. Stop thinking that just because you're in an oppressed demographic, like that's like me saying because I'm a bisexual man, you can't tell me nothing. Just because if you tell me something, I'm going to feel like I'm going to just label it as oppression because that's what I'm used to. And you don't have the ability to realize that you're still a human and there's things that people are going to agree with and they're not. That doesn't make them a bigot. That doesn't make them homophobic. That doesn't make them all these names that y'all come up with. Y'all don't have discernment to be able to see the differences and stuff. Y'all label everything as a ism, as a ick, as an oppression movement and an agenda to go against you as a being, as a trans person, as a black person, as a gay person. No. That's not always the case. I'm not saying that that's not ever the case, but it's not every single last time the case. You don't want to have a battered woman syndrome where you can't tell the difference between constructive criticism and hate. You got to be able to see the difference. You got to be able to see the difference between somebody's against me and somebody just has a different opinion based on their experiences in life. We all have the right to say, this is my experience and this is what I believe. You don't get to disagree with those things. You don't get to tell somebody that their experience is incorrect. Y'all don't give the credit that you want in return. You have to give the empathy, the respect, the open-mindedness that you want. You can't just expect somebody to give it to you because you're used to being oppressed. And I was so glad that we did not fall into those celebrities' favor because they all got paid to sell out and try to make us vote for this person, to vote this person in. And I'm glad that we didn't go that route because we showed and proved to celebrities that y'all ain't got the pull that y'all used to. And y'all motherfuckers don't run shit around here. This is not 2010. We didn't got to see y'all's personalities and shit, and we ain't really fucking with y'all like that. And I'm so glad that the American people proved that. You can't just put celebrities up in our face, and that means that we're going to vote a certain person like we ain't living this life every day. Them celebrities ain't paying no fucking bills or nothing. All right, they need to understand what place they deserve to be in. That's an ideology place, a place of fantasy, not no motherfucking real shit. I'm so glad that we handled them accordingly. All right. Now, I know a lot of y'all are liberals, or y'all Democrats, and y'all believe the opposite way that I do. And I respect y'all for having y'all's opinion. I understand that everybody does not have the ability to think for themselves. But I do. And I'm not going to be condemned for it. And where y'all really messed up at was wishing bad on me because of that. From now on, for that, I'm gonna just keep my opinion to myself as far as politics go. Y'all already know what my opinion is. I don't have to keep repeating it. And I don't have to say I told you so, even though I did tell y'all that she wasn't winning. All right. So, like I said, then y'all disagree with me then. Oh no, we disagree. She's winning. All this. It doesn't matter if you disagree or agree. The truth always precedes. All right. So remember that. All right. Well, that's it for this one, y'all, because Kelso say so. I'm going to see you on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
No, I don't give a fuck about what anyone say. No, I don't give a fuck about what anyone say.